Hello and welcome to my crystal collection video series. This is part 6, and today we're going to go over my spheres. Well, at least half of them. I've got a lot of spheres. And so we're going to go over them first by size, then by alphabetical order. So let's begin. So we're going to kick off this video with this aquamarine with tourmaline inclusion mini sphere. So this is not the best quality of aquamarine there is, but it's not that bad. The reason why I picked it up, though, is because of the tourmaline inclusions. Usually when something is tourmalinated, it's black tourmaline, because black tourmaline is the most common. This, however, is green tourmaline, and I just thought that was different and interesting, so yeah, I picked it up. Alright, then moving on to this Arusha Stone mini sphere. So if you watched my previous videos, in particular if you watched my freeform video, you might recall me talking about and showing off my Arusha Stone mini freeform. I think this is actually the same batch. Both are extremely high quality, and you could tell because of the flash. So Arusha Stone can flash 3 different features. So there's a blue tinted flash, a silver tinted flash, and a golden tinted flash. And sometimes it'll flash one of those 3. Other times it's 2 out of the 3. And on really lovely occasions, it'll be all 3. This has all 3. And not only that, it also has rainbow lattice etched into the gold sheen. What do I mean by that? Well, it looks kind of like rainbow glitter within the golden flash. Hopefully it shows up on camera. Again, I don't know, but it's there. Even if it doesn't show up on the camera, this is a crappy camera. I feel like a broken record, I swear, but it's true. Anyways, yeah, so beautiful, beautiful stone. It's hard for it not to flash because no matter where the light hits it, it seems to just give off such this beautiful shimmer. Yeah. Alright, and next is this Bumblebee Stone mini sphere. So you may have heard this be called jasper, but it's not a true jasper because it's not a microcrystalline. That's why I call it Bumblebee Stone, not jasper. It's a little bit pricey, but for good reason. There's only one place where this is mine, and it's in Indonesia, and it's on top of an active volcano spewing out toxic fumes and gases. So yeah, it's very dangerous work, and hence why it's a little bit pricey, but I don't mind paying the price because it's a beautiful stone, and yeah, a lot goes into getting it, so yeah, worth it. Alright, so next up is this chiastolite mini sphere. So what chiastolite is, it's andalusite crystal. Except it's a little bit more unique than that because it has crisscrossings of carbon within it. That's what you see here, right? The black is carbon. And it reminds me of a goat's eye. I know, it's kind of a weird thing to have it remind you of, but that's what it looks like to me. So what are you going to do? And this is quite high quality actually because you can see the sheen of the crystal. It's pretty gemmy. But yeah, just my little goat's eye here. And then I have this fire quartz mini sphere. So what is fire quartz? Well, it's just quartz with streaks of red due to hematite inclusions. So you can tell if it's high quality, if it's got windows. What windows are is basically just, it's so clear that you can pretty much see through it almost, or at least right to the middle of it, if not through it completely. And you definitely can see that here. But not to be outdone, I do have a second fire quartz mini sphere. This one is super clear and just has a little bit of streaking just down the middle of it. And I just thought that was interesting. It looks kind of like a marble, like it could easily pass for a marble, not a quartz. It's that clear. And then I have a third fire quartz mini sphere. This one even has more windows than the first. Yeah, I picked this up because it was a good price, all 3. These are all from the same batch. And I like this one because of the fire hydrant red. Well, the other one has more of an orangey tint to it. This one's more of a true red, so. And that concludes our mini spheres. So we're going to move on to my small spheres now, starting with this ametrine small sphere. So what exactly is ametrine? Is it a mix of both crystals? Yes and no. So what citrine is any type of quartz that is close to underground hydrothermal vents. And what happens is that it starts to irradiate because of the heat and turns into this honey-colored quartz, right? So what ametrine is amethyst, because amethyst is a quartz, starting to transform into citrine, but hasn't fully gotten there yet. So as you can see here, the different gradient in color, how it's turning into honey color from the purple to this honey. Yeah, that's because it's in the midst of transformation into a citrine. And it's really pretty when you can find it. It's not exactly all over the market because it's hard, it's kind of rare occurrence to find ametrine. So yeah, when you see it, you should pick it up because it's gorgeous. I love the different colors. This one in particular has some really pretty rainbows, and yeah, really pretty. And then I have this aventurine small sphere. So this is green aventurine, which is, yeah, the most common variety. I've spoken about red aventurine in my towers video and how you'd be hard pressed to find people selling red aventurine as red aventurine. What they're doing is they're purposely mislabeling it strawberry quartz. It's not strawberry quartz. Strawberry quartz is completely mined out. It looks different too. This is not strawberry quartz, but it was in high demand, and so they thought, hey, well, let's just call this strawberry quartz because we're trying to move some product, and that because aventurine is really, really common, right? And it kind of stuck on, and it hasn't let go. So people are still selling this as strawberry quartz, but it's not. And what they are started to try to do, it didn't stick like the red aventurine, but what they tried to say was that green aventurine was this new, even more rarer type of strawberry quartz, green strawberry quartz. That didn't stick really well because it's ridiculous. So they stopped doing that. So now you see green aventurine being sold everywhere. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny, right? Because instead of being more rare, it's actually even more common than red aventurine, which is a very common crystal. Yeah, the things that they'll do to try to sell something. But anyways, yeah, so this is aventurine, green aventurine. And then I have this banded onyx small sphere. So what is banded onyx? Well, it's just agate. So agate that is white or black is onyx. When it's together, it's just banded onyx, right? But it's just essentially an agate. So yeah, pretty. And then next is this calcite small sphere. So this is a yellow calcite, and it's actually quite shimmery. Really, really pretty when it hits the light. Calcite is really common, by the way. It's like, I think, the most common crystal out there. And it comes in a wide variety of colors and a wide variety of shapes and wide variety of quality. So this isn't too bad of quality. Like, the shine is really nice and pretty. And next is this moonstone small sphere. So this type of moonstone only comes out of Tanzania, and it's sometimes referred to as silky moonstone or sage moonstone. I love this variety of moonstone, by the way. I love the color, the sort of like light olive gray green, and it sometimes, like this, in this case, boasts a really strong sheen, silver sheen of the moonstone. So yeah, I just think it's really pretty. I used to have a mini sphere, but I didn't realize until after I had it already sent to me and paid for it was that it was actually reconstituted, meaning that it was mostly fixed up with resin. Fortunately, this is completely together. It's not filled in with resin in the holes or whatever that occurred when they carved it. Like, it's all one piece. So I'm just happy about that, because it's a lot harder to find nowadays, because it is a little bit more of a rare moonstone. And yeah, so really pretty. All right, so, and the next one is interesting. So this is my rose quartz small sphere, and I love the color. It's so juicy. It reminds me of pink lemonade. Now, what is interesting about it is that it has an astrum. What's an astrum? Well, some crystals, depending on how you carve them, and this includes rose quartz, some rose quartz, if you carve it in such a way, it gives off what's known as an astrum, which is a star sheen. So this has a 6-pointed star sheen when it hits the light just right. And sometimes stones with astrums can have 8 points or even 12 points. But this is a 6-pointed star astrum, so I just thought that was kind of nifty. And then I have this Sheen Obsidian small sphere. So what is obsidian? Obsidian is glass, but it's naturally formed glass from a volcano. And I wouldn't pick up regular obsidian. So the reason why is because there is absolutely no way to tell if it's been man-made or not. Because they can just replicate it, and there's no test out there that can confirm one way or the other. I would like to have my crystals be as natural as possible. So yeah, and the difference is I'll pick up ones with inclusions because they can't recreate the inclusions, and that includes sheen obsidian. So this is silver sheen obsidian. It could also come in gold sheen obsidian, rainbow obsidian, and velvet sheen obsidian. There's other varieties of obsidian, but the sheen ones, those inclusion ones, they cannot replicate, and the other varieties, they can't replicate either. However, it's always starts off black, right? And then the inclusions are within it, changes its composition. So I just want to point that out because sometimes, not really recently, but there has been issues where people or whatever have tried to scam and claim obsidian when it's slag glass. I'll show it on screen. That's not obsidian. It's never that color. So just be wary of that. But yeah, so silver sheen obsidian is due to the inclusions. And yeah, very pretty. Gotta love it. And moving on to this smoky quartz small sphere. So this is a very beautiful smoky quartz. It's lighter than some of my other smoky quartz, and it boasts some great clarity and also some rainbows. I'm pretty sure this came from Brazil, and yeah, you can tell because the quality is nice and high. And we're going to move on to my last small sphere, and that is this tiger's eye small sphere. So usually tiger's eye is just this sort of brownish gold sheen stone. And as you can see, this has some blue in it. Well, what actually is the sheen, what makes it have that chatoyancy, is that it's asbestos. So that's the asbestos that's within the stone. Don't worry, it's not going to harm you. It's been polished and all that. So as long as you don't do lapidary work on it, which means cut it with a saw and not know what you're doing so that you don't like wet it and then the dust gets in the air, then you breathe that in, then you might have a problem, but you're fine. Just having tiger's eye, you're fine. Don't worry about the fact that it has asbestos in it. Now, when it comes to the different coloring, the blue is actually what all tiger's eye starts out as. Over time, it turns into the goldish sort of brown chatoyant coloring. So this is just in the midst of that sort of transformation, sort of like the ametrine. So there's also on the market what's known as dragon's eye. And sometimes it's just called red tiger's eye, but sometimes dragon's eye. That, not natural, right? It's never red. That's been heated and treated. So just to, let you know, so you have the information for yourself. And some people don't mind. Some people don't mind man-made stuff or, man-treated. And that's fine too. I just think that sellers should be honest to their customers and not lie, and you not getting something that you think, you getting something that you're not too sure on, and you're thinking it's one thing when it's something else, right? That's not fair. So yeah, that's why I want to give out as much information as I can. If you like it, great. If you don't, great. It's all subjective, but just know that you're getting, right? So that you can be in charge and not, be taken for a ride by someone who just wants your money. Yeah. So that's all I have for my small spheres. So let's get into my medium spheres, starting with this agate medium sphere. So this is an interesting agate because of the colors. For one, it's dark too, the black chalcedony, and basically this came from Madagascar next to Ocean Jasper mine, and Ocean Jasper tends to have a lot of really vibrant colors to it, so could be part of that. Yeah, it's essentially, this is just tubular agate, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. The tubes look like purple worms, so definitely different. Then I have this Atlantisite medium sphere. So Atlantisite is a combination mineral. The green is serpentine, whereas the purple is chatoyant. The purple is stitchite. So yeah, it's those two minerals together, and it is only found in Australia. But yeah, hopefully you can see the chatoyancy. It will chatoyant if it's high enough quality, but again, camera, it's a little bit iffy. All right, then I have this banded calcite medium sphere. So this is one that kind of makes me nostalgic for root beer float because of the pattern of the banding. Doesn't it remind you of that? Well, it reminds me of it. And then you have this cave with all the betrothal aspects, which is like bubbly. So yeah, this reminds me of root beer floats. There's also UVs too, by the way. And next is this bloodstone medium sphere. So what is bloodstone? Well, I'm surprised it's not called a jasper because it is all a variety of quartz, right? But you have the red jasper intermingled with what's known as praise, which is a variety of quartz. So it's all quartz, except for maybe the sprinkling of pyrite in there. Maybe that's why they don't refer to this as a jasper. But either way, it's a lovely stone. And yeah. All right, next is this calcite with aragonite medium sphere. So this is commonly referred to as Caribbean calcite, but I tend to call it, just calcite with aragonite because Caribbean calcite doesn't suggest aragonite, but it's not just calcite. So the calcite aspect is this sort of bluish green color area, and the aragonite is the sort of sandy brown. And obviously the reason why they call it Caribbean calcite is because it looks like the Caribbean beach, right? Looks like the waves of the calcite and smashing into the sandy aragonite. All right. And then I have this calcite medium sphere, which is usually known as pistachio calcite because it's a little bit more green, like the pistachio. So, but it doesn't have any aragonite, but it is close to the Caribbean calcite, minus the aragonite. And then I have another calcite medium sphere, but this time it's clear calcite. So this is awesome because it's got so much rainbow to it. I absolutely love this one. And it's definitely flashy. So yeah, very pretty. All right, so the next I have here is this Crazy Lace Agate Medium Sphere. So Crazy Lace is found in Mexico, and it's just a bunch of crazy banding. I guess that's why they call it crazy. It's banding of white, cream, pink, and red, and yeah, really cool patterning that's all over the place. And this one in particular, the reason why I bought it, obviously, is the heart. It looks like it's like a heart on fire. So I just thought that was kind of cool. So we're going to stop it for now. I still have a ton of spheres to show you, but again, I don't want this video to be extremely long. So the next video that I post will be the other half of my sphere collection. So be on the lookout for that. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye!